Hey everybody! Hey everybody! It's Drew Scooter from Sleep With Me podcast. This is like a message for super listeners of the show to update. It's been about 36 hours since that episode went live, asking our 20,000 super listeners who depend on the ad-supported, listener-supported podcast to help them in the deep dark night. Right? There's a lot more than 20,000 listeners, but there's 20,000 people that listen to the most episodes of Sleep With Me and that listen longest and that seem to benefit the most, right? And everybody can self-decide if they're a super listener or not. So this is a main update for super listeners, right? Which is ironic because I heard from a lot of non-super listeners in a positive way, former listeners on the no thank you page, which I didn't expect. But those are still votes for yes. So I was asking people to vote yes and to vote no by inaction, right? So we'll do some math in a minute. But first, I'm going to run through the numbers. But I thought like our referral program does not have a title. So it's the snooze squad right now. So there was people that signed up for the snooze squad. And that's our referral program. And I strongly recommend signing up for the referral program because if we have to make drastic changes in the show and you're referring people to podcasts, you'll have access to Sleep With Me Plus for free. And then you'll have access to Sleep With Me Plus for free because Sleep With Me Plus is not going to go away for years. Unless, I'm not planning on it. Like if we have to wind down the main show, we can keep Sleep With Me Plus going and keep the people that are working on the show other than me, like working on the show for a while, and I can cut back and work on something else or something. But that's not the plan. The plan is to get everybody involved. Well, the plan was to see how many people were like, nah, like I'm a super listener, but I'm not paying attention. Or I'm not getting out of bed. I'm not doing anything. Versus how many people are like, yeah, Scoots, keep the show going, right? But man, I'm all over the place. It is 2 p.m. I've had some coffee and I've had some Coke Zero. So referral program, you're now the snooze squad, right? So I want to thank everybody that signed up for that. Strongly encourage you to do that. You can do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com, sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. If you can't afford to support the show on Sleep With Me Plus, it's a huge way to help the show. Don't underestimate like your effort. These are the things that are actually going to keep the podcast going. Supporting the show via the referral program or Sleep With Me Plus. So join that snooze squad. But here's the first pro tip for anybody that's signed up for the referral program or is about to sign up to vote yes with your actions. When you get your referral link, you get a referral link, right? And I'm going to do more snooze squad sessions. We even got a little alliteration tongue twister. So when you get your referral link, because when you sign up for the referral program, you get a unique link that you share. And when people check out the podcast using your link, and then they follow the podcast or whatever in their podcast app, the free podcast, you get credit for it. And you can get free access to Sleep With Me Plus. And even though we have the listing on there, you'll also be getting helped out by our scholarship program that Cornelia, a listener that supported the show in tons of ways. And when people start to make, I don't know if I could reshare it. Cornelia is crossed the Rainbow Bridge, and she's like one of the listeners that had the biggest impact on this version of the podcast that's been around since we got through 2020 and 2019 and whatever. Because she was there every minute with everything we did, engaged. And she wasn't like some tech pro, but she got out there and shared her link and accumulated a lot of referrals because back then it was a kind of like, how are we going to keep the show going? So first thing to do, man, I'm all over the place. So is when you get that unique link, text it to yourself or email it to yourself or both. So that you have it in your phone, and every phone and computer. I mean, on Macs, it's pretty easy to, and iPhones, it's pretty easy to text yourself something. You just copy and paste it, or you could AirDrop it or whatever. I don't know on other devices, but you could Google it, and it's probably pretty easy. If you want to even go one level further, you could look into getting a URL shortener or even a custom URL shortener. I'm not going to take the time to explain that because if people have questions, this isn't like I don't have a tech support team for this kind of stuff. So, but yeah, you'll have that link and then you can paste it. And I'll have more tips soon, but that's the easiest one. So you always have that link handy. The third level, if you want to go super pro, is to use something like Text Expander. I use that for a ton of podcast stuff. Again, you could look it up, and there's different versions of it. That's just the one I use. And then you could just use a little thing. There's probably autocomplete things too. And then if you type in 2 or 3 letters, like or semicolon ZQ, or whatever you set up for it. Again, I'm going, but this is just my style. And then it'll just put your link right there. But copy and paste that link and text yourself. And welcome to the Snooze Squad. So let's start off with our Snooze Squad, even though they're second in here. First in my heart. So 23 people signed up for the referral program, right? Since I put out that message asking people to vote. So there's 23 votes, yes. We didn't get any referrals in that time, but Macy, Val, and Mackenzie shared their link. So it's 3 out of 20 people just signed up. Maybe they're thinking about being in the Snooze Squad. They signed up, though, so they voted yes. Scoots, keep the show going. I'm a super listener. I want you to keep the show going. So it's 23 out of 20,000 super listeners. Pretty good, though, because it's a lot more than 0. 148 people voted yes by filling out the stuff at the no thank you page. And that's our biggest number. And we'll parse out what to do, but it's 148 people. And it was a variety of responses. And I don't have the time or the emotional security right now to read through them. But 148 people voted yes. Hey, I'm not going to support the show via the referral program, and I'm not going to support the show directly, but I do want you to keep the show going. So it's a good sign. 148 people out of 20,000 is a lot better than 0. And again, our goal is at this point, is to at least find 1,500 people that are engaged enough out of super listeners, not casual listeners, not new listeners, not people that listen from time to time, not people that stopped listening, even though people that stopped listening voted. People that only listen from time to time voted. New listeners voted. So super listeners are, really the best place to communicate this stuff is on the podcast because very few people, a sleep podcast is not a social media thing, right? Anyway, so that's good. We got 148 and 23. We haven't got any referrals yet. Last week, let's take a look at last week's stats because, not kind of grim. Let's see. I know Gordo shared a link 3 times. Tina's out there. Tina shared at least got 3 previews and 1 referral. So far, Tina, you're still number 1. So get out there and share your link, and I'll do more things about sharing your link separately. All right, let's get to the other numbers on this side. Okay, this is a number I haven't shared before, but I figured we got to find hope where we can find it, right? So after that message, 48 people signed up for free trials. So they're not paid supporters, but they could become them. We have, since we started this campaign around 4/16, 4/18, we have 415 new supporters on Sleep With Me Plus. Out of that 1,500, 137 cancellations and 43 declines. But, let's try to find hope wherever we can. So let's just forget the cancellations because people are going to cancel, and particularly in this economy, and people are going to have declines. So let's just keep trying to find hope, right? So we got 48 free trials and 415 new subscribers, and we'll worry about the declines if we get to 1,500. Who cares? I can push through for the next few months. And the cool thing about the free trials is most people. So what happens with the free trials is most people complete that. The only people that don't are people that are just taking the content, which is more people than I thought, but that's fine. and people that never either they don't check their email, so they never set up their bonus content, or they're just kind of like most. If you set up your Sleep With Me Plus podcasts and start using them, you're either downloading all the content to keep for yourself, or you're, which is an option, I guess. Like, I mean, you could do it if you're willing to put in that work. I guess I salute you. But and then cancel your free trial. But most of the people keep their free trial if they set up the bonus content, which only takes a few minutes. The people that cancel, I never hear from them because I try to follow up and just say, hey, oh, excuse me, everybody. Alexa, stop the timer. That's my timer. Okay, so where are we at with everything? Okay, so for our goal is to find 1,500. Well, ideally, we're hoping by July to get 1,500 people on Sleep With Me Plus. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. But like I said, I'll find a way to do this. If there's 1,500 super listeners, like, so where are we at? We got 20,000 super listeners, right? All right, so we have 415 plus 48. Hopefully those 48 stick around. That's 8 plus 5 is 13. So that's a 2. Oh, wait, yeah, wait, 20, 48. Oh, sorry. So no, that's not a 2. 4, 5, 6. So it's 463. Does that sound right? So 463. We're just going to, moving forward to stay in the hope zone. We got potential 463 people that seem like they want to support the show financially. So that's a check. 463 plus 23 people on the referral program. That's like 486. 486. And then we got 148 people who aren't going to support the show, but still believe in it enough to let me know they're not going to support the show, even though that number's kind of skewed because some former listeners that love the show wanted to vote too, which is cool, man. I mean, that's another reason to keep going. Like, people that no longer listen to the show want to vote, keep making the show because it had a positive impact in my life. New listeners wanted to vote, keep making the show. I just found it. Temporary listeners said, keep making the show. I only listen once or twice a month, but I don't want you to stop. So, super listeners, this message really is for you, the one super listener watching this. Just do one of those 3 things. If the podcast, but only if the podcast makes your life better on a regular basis. It's a question, the super listener thing. If it's a no, don't worry about it. Like, we just need that's the beauty of Sleep With Me. Think about that. People took the time to vote that don't even listen to the show anymore. That means I shouldn't give up, but I do have to find a way to actually do this, right? But where are we at? 148. I mean, we're almost at 750, right? I mean, if we fudge the numbers a little bit, 486, round that up, that's 500. 148. Oh, that's 650. Okay. But so we're almost at 650. I don't know. It's 650. 20,000 minus 650 is was 450, right? Or 350. So 19, we still got a pool of 19,350 people to pull from. That's pretty good. So yeah. So if you're a super listener, like, those are the ways to vote. sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus is the best way to vote. If Sleep With Me is has value to you, like, and has made your life better, think about the things you pay for. And like, is Sleep With Me just as valuable as those things, the other streaming services even? If you say no, and again, I have someone that while I was making this podcast was living paycheck to paycheck. So I understand living paycheck to paycheck, or not even living paycheck to paycheck, which I was doing before this podcast. So if you're in that place, you're like, $7 is not possible for me. Please sign up for the referral program and try to get one referral. Like, that one referral it's like it will help the show. Just like those of you that are like, well, I don't want to support the show, but $7 a month just doesn't seem like it does you justice. The $7 will change the future of the podcast. Like if 1,000 of those super listeners got 1,000 referrals, that would probably translate into 100 supporters of the show. Mathematically. Oh no, it's 10%. But anyway, those people, like anyway, I think I'm making sense. Like your action, you're being a part of this squad, snooze squad. It's going to be fun. I'm going to probably do something monthly. We're going to do little contests to keep people engaged. So if you do sign up for the referral program, be a part of it. This is part of something. In the end, this is all about putting people to sleep and having fun doing it, trying to get back to our roots. I do get stressed, and that's probably coming through with this stuff, but this is kind of like an unprecedented situation. So, and it's not just sleep with me. I mean, you're seeing people opt out of the creator economy or whatever you want to call it, that are way more successful than sleep with me. Because it's not easy. But I have a pretty good reason, right? And this is about, hey, like, do you have a pretty good reason for me to keep going, right? If you haven't voted. But those are the people, man. I mean, again, just to think about it, while there was like over 19,000 people that just passed and said, never mind. Like, yeah, I'm going to stop listening. He's going to go on and on and on asking me about something. I'm not going to listen. There's 148 people, and again, this is not irony or snark. There's 148 people that reached out and said, no, yes, keep the show going. I'm not going to support it. I am a super listener. I'm not interested in helping. I mean, I'm not even trying to put it in harsh terms, but like, hey, I'm not but keep going. Or they took an action, a kind of a contrary action, right? And said no, or maybe some other version of that. So that's a big deal. Like, and there's people in that 148. Not everybody was like that. Like I said, there was people that are like, man, I used to listen to this show. It changed my life. Hey, I'll only listen twice a month. Don't stop. So the only vote to stop is to just pass by, right? And we're in the gathering information and building hope phase of this, which is a new phase. Speaking of which, let's kind of see where we're at. Last time we checked, we're at 225 paid supporters. Oh, now we're fudging the numbers. So it's like, right? So we're at 4. We're not counting the declines or the cancellations. So 415. So we're going to do a pretty big boost here when we don't count the people that canceled. We're at 75, 150, 225, 300, 375. Well, that's 500. So it's somewhere. So wow, that's 500. That was our May goal. So we didn't hit our May goal, but with a couple changes, we're a lot closer. And 415. Okay, 415. I said 450. But if those free trials stick around, well, let's just say we're at 450. I mean, I'm never good at numbers anyway. So there we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. I mean, but like I said, like if this takes longer, it's like that's when we can keep legging this out, right, until the end of the year. I can keep trying different messages. I can keep trying different approaches if people are engaged, right? And not just anybody. In the past, like I used to try to get, like I didn't realize, I don't know why this took so long. I mean, part of it was the analytics, and as analytics get better, you could see the super listeners in the numbers, but I should have known like that 80-20 rule pretty much holds true. And so many years I was making pitches on the podcast to everybody and not realizing how much the show, how valuable the show is. and how the ads do support the listening of new listeners or temporary listeners, even if we're only getting, which will be coming up soon, like a half of a penny a listen. I mean, that half of a penny for people that are just coming and going, it can add up. But for people that listen all night long, it just doesn't work unless some of those all night listeners, or the people that fall asleep fast, or the people that have listened for years. It works when it's not a half of a penny, a little bit better, right? Like if you're an all night listener and it's a penny and a half, believe it or not, that's twice as much money or three times as much money. But at a half penny, it's like I don't know. Now I'm rambling on and on and on. Thank you, I guess, is my main thing. Thank you for joining me on this journey of hope. Hope in the numbers. And yeah, I mean, thank you to those 140 people that filled out the no thank you page. Thank you for the 23 people that signed up for the referral program, particularly Macy, Val, and Mackenzie, who seem like they're already trying to get referrals and participate in it. And thanks to those people that signed up for the free trial, 48 people. And thanks to the 15 people that became subscribers since we started this, and to the former supporters, like the people that don't support the show anymore, either because they moved on, like those people that reached out to me, or because you can't afford to anymore, or you're going through a tough time. Like the show would have been gone, like without you. So your past support, you're a part of this too. But thanks everybody that voted or heard that call, because like I said, like it's a big difference. It's going to be a big difference if it's like, okay, there's 1,500 of those super listeners who are invested in the show, even if we can't get to the 1,500 new supporters or 1,500 returning supporters, because we're only trying to get back to where we were a couple of years ago, or we get those referrals. I mean, if we had 1,500 people regularly referring like stuff, it would change the entire trajectory of the podcast too. And then if I know that, yeah, there's like 1,500 people, I guess that would also help. Like the more I hear from people that the podcast matters to, that are willing to do something, even if it's like, yeah, I'm not going to support the show. Like I can start to try to come up with more creative solutions, because this has all been a creative evolution of the creative solutions of how do I keep the show going, right? Because it's worth it. And I guess that's what that information's, and the goal is to get to 1,500. If we can't get to 1,500 people by July, I do want to get to the 1,500 people that are actually like keep the show going. I voted one of those three ways: sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus, sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. I got that referral, or sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. And it'd be cool if we got 1,500 in all three of those, or 1,500 referrals. Wow, that'd be amazing. So thank you so much. I'm going on and on and on. This is a Saturday, and I should probably be working on something else or relaxing. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.